We have seen people bleaching their skin these days so that it's lighter and probably, they've got hair extensions, especially the girls, so that they also look like whites. We as Africans descended from our ancestors.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with them, with their identity, because we were created by God. And also the totem, as far as I'm concerned, totems are for identity. But of course, they were meant to probably have other purposes, like maybe the preservation of animals.
Mr. Aleck Kaposa, welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here today. Thank you for hosting me.
Right, lovely. Right, so for those who may not know you or your story, tell us a bit. Let's go back a bit. Where were you born and when were you born?
I was born in Urungwe in 1975 on the 3rd of April. But I grew up on the farm just on the outskirts of Harare. That's where I spent much of my time. So my childhood was spent on the farm. Although I was born in Urungwe, but I grew up right on the farm. Yeah.
So you're a farm boy?
Yes, I am. I grew up in the farm compound.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, tell us about life on the farm as a young boy.
Well, as a young boy, it was soon after independence, and the country was still in the independence mood. My earliest memories were the transitional period from Rhodesia to Zimbabwe. You had the comrades coming from Gwebi College coming to do some pungwes there, and would go to a certain place in the middle of the farm compound and I would sing songs, war songs, the liberation war songs. We used to play in the farm compound, as farm boys. We made wire toy cars, we played plastic balls and so forth. We had a lot of people from different countries, originally from Malawi, from Mozambique, from Zambia. We were a hodgepodge kind of people in the compound, in the farm compound. And our parents worked on the farm. Of course, my father was an entrepreneur. He used to sew clothes and sell them on farms and in the urban areas. But my mother worked on the farm. Yes.
Okay, tell us more about your parents. What type of people were they?
My father was from Malawi. He was born in Malawi, and then he came to Zimbabwe in 1953. And he used to work on the farms. He ended up working as a cook on the farm. But after I was born, he was no longer very much interested in working. He was now sewing clothes and selling them. He had a big singer machine which he used to repair other people's clothes, and also used to sew clothes and sell them in different places. My mother was Matebele. She was educated up to standard 6, and she spoke good English. Even with the white men on the farm there, she used to speak in English. She was of Matebele stock, and she was a good reader, of course. My foundation actually into reading and writing came from her, from the stories that she used to tell us by the fireside every evening. Yes, she used to tell us stories from the Bible and to teach us also morals based on biblical teachings. Of course, in those days, my big brother, Pius, used to bring books from Gwebi College Primary School, and he would read. Yes. So it was even every evening either stories from the Bible or also from the Zimbabwean novels, Shona novels that we used to read.
So we can safely say that through the influence of your mother and your older brother, it kind of molded you to become what you are today.
Yes, it did. It did. he did. The seed was planted during those early days.
Wow. But tell me about your siblings. I heard you mentioned a brother. Do you have any other siblings?
Yes, I do. Actually, the first, like they say, the firstborn in the family was my sister. She died in 2004, Sister Gelizan. And then my brother Willie died in 1982. I have my sister Stella. Now she's the big sister, still around, and my sister Loveness. And then my older brother Pius, my younger brother Noel. Yeah, so those are my siblings.
Okay. Let's fast forward to primary school. What school did you go to, and how was it back then?
I went to Gwebi Primary School, but there was no ECD, there was no creche on the farm, so we just went straight from the farm compound into grade 1. But I guess we used to have very good teachers who molded us, because it was difficult, but we managed to learn very quickly. And we could read by end of first term. In those days, I don't think there was anybody who was a non-reader like some things we are seeing today.
So you were saying by first term grade 1?
Yes, end of
you could
grade
read.
1. I could read and write. Actually, we wrote a test and I came out number 1.
Wow.
Yes, in 1983 at Gwebi Primary School. Yes. So, I think the teachers were very good. I think so. My first teacher, Mrs. Nyakujika, in 83 I was in grade 1. In 84 she was with us again in grade 2. So, she laid a very good foundation.
Wow.
Yes.
And growing older, you're still at the farm. How was access to school materials back then? Like the books, your stationaries, and the like?
There were books at school. We used to have enough books. I think the government had some assistance from different European countries, probably America as well. Yeah, we had textbooks. We had enough books. Everyone had their own copies of whether mathematics or English or Shona, environmental science and so forth. We had enough books, all of us. Stationery, you mentioned stationery. We used to get stationery from the school. So every exercise book, we got those books from the school. We never used to buy exercise books. Even when I was in high school, it was the same. We only used to buy some pens. Yes. We had enough books, and also we had a good library at Gwebi Primary School. Very good library. It was well stocked, especially with Shona novels, Aaron Chundra Moyo, Amchine, and all the other top Shona authors.
Yes.
Yes, we had a lot of their books in the school library.
And fast forward to secondary school. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, okay. After primary school, I went to Ellis Robbins High School from Form 1 to Form 6.
You were now in Harare?
Yes, I was now. Even the farm wasn't too far from Harare. It was just some 27 kilometers from Harare.
So you'd commute daily?
Yeah, no, I was in boarding.
You were in boarding?
Yes, I was in boarding. I used to stay at Malcolm House. We had a boarding house. So, secondary also, I believe we had good teachers. With the foundation that was built in primary school, the teachers in secondary school took over from there. I believe we had a fine set of teachers, whatever subject. Yeah, of course, I struggled with mathematics, but I was good with all the other subjects. I was almost an all-rounder except for mathematics.
Okay, well, the numbers, you were not very...
No. Yeah, I struggled with mathematics.
Okay.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So is that where the love for writing began, or it started much earlier?
I started a bit earlier when I was in grade 7. I wrote a poem called sing a song of animals for a competition that was advertised in the newspaper. Then I just posted it, but I never got any response. But that was my first writing. So when I was in grade 7, there was a man who came. He had written a novel. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name. He came to our school and he used to read his novel at assembly. I think every day for about a week, or I can't really remember, maybe a month, until the novel was finished. So we used to enjoy that. Then soon after that, that's when I wrote my first poem. And then in secondary school, I was fortunate enough because at Ellis Robins School, we had the school magazine. So I naturally joined the Writers Club, and I was also the school magazine editor for my form in Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. Even when I was up to Upper 6, I was still the editor. We won awards there. So the Ellis Robins School magazine was actually my practicing ground.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Oh, interesting. And at Ellis Robins, how was the reception from your articles in the school magazine? Did that also encourage you, or you faced, or did you face any form of criticism that you nearly gave up?
I had read quite a lot of books in primary school. By the time I finished grade 7, I had read Ngugi Thiong'o, I had read Chinua Achebe, and a lot of other writers. So I had a good command of English. Actually, my teachers were surprised. Even the headmaster was surprised. I've got a book. I still have that exercise book, my composition exercise book, which my teacher took to the headmaster, and the headmaster wrote that I enjoyed reading your composition. So they supported me very heavily, and people actually liked my stories. They were a bit more mature than my early stages, because I was in Form 1, Form 2, but I was writing stories that were a little bit more mature than the Form 1 stage, so I was ahead of them, and people liked my stories, and they started looking for me. Actually, they nicknamed me Ngugi, after Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Oh,
so yeah,
like the Zimbabwean version.
Yes, yeah. Even my teacher, Shona teacher, Mrs. Chindawe, she used to say, "Hey, you Ngugi." Yeah, so I used to like Ngugi. So at Ellis Robins, we had a huge library with all those books. Of course, there were a lot of European books, which I also read, and our own African classics.
In 1996, you won second prize in a national book review competition.
Yes, I did.
What did that recognition mean to you?
Yeah, it was a book review. We were studying that book for literature at A level. And then in the newspaper, they advertised that we want students to review this book. So I tried it, but then I got scared. And then I didn't try. But my A level teacher, Mr. Chipamaonga, is late now.
Yes.
He was also a novelist. And he was the one who was in charge of the school magazine. Yeah, we did a lot of literary things at school. So he encouraged me to enter the competition. I told him, no, I can't. But he said, no, you can. He pushed me. And then I reviewed that book, Bonds by Chenjerai Owe. And then I won a national prize. Second, I came out second in the national competition. That was actually my second prize that year, because I also did a drug abuse essay, and I won a prize also at national level. So those things encouraged me a lot, and the articles were also published in the school magazine later on. So, and by the grace of God, our magazine used to win national prizes also. For the school magazines. We used to compete against Prince Edward, against St. George's, St. John's College, Peterhouse, and so forth. And we used to beat them as far as the best school magazine was concerned, and best content, best school article. They just beat us in best sports. Yeah, we used to win it under my editorship in those years.
Wow. Wow.
So I was very excited, and everybody. I actually got some money. Yeah, I used to get some money for the prize, and that prize which I won for the book review, I won a set of books. One of the books is over there. It's a huge book. None But Ourselves by Julie Fredericks. It's one of the books that was part of that package, which I won. There were also books that went to the school as a result of my winning for that second prize.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So you achieved quite a lot at a very young age.
I did. The school actually, in the end, gave me an award. I was given a colors blazer. Maybe you can see the picture. Where is that? I think
we'll show it on the screen. Yeah.
Yes. I got a colors blazer. It was an outstanding editorial performance award. It was a new award created specifically for me for the work that I had done at school and also at national level, especially because our school magazine had won the awards. I remember when we went for the presentations, there was Minister Machinga and some guys from St. George's College. They asked me, are the judges from your school? I said, no, I don't even know them. We were judged by the Zimbabwe Institute of Public Relations Institute, if I remember well. So I used to do quite well in literary matters. I was always writing. I think I was more into writing than all the other academic subjects I was pursuing. I had a passion for writing and also for reading.
It's a God-given talent.
I think so. I believe, yeah, I do.
So tell me about your first book. Very, very first book.
My very first book. All right.
Or was there a book that you wrote and was not published? Like the very first book?
Yes, I wrote a lot. When I was in Form 2, I knocked on the doors of several publishers, including College Press and Longman. I said, I've got a manuscript of short stories. And then they said, due to economic issues, we are not taking general books. We are only focusing on textbook. They wrote me that letter, which was a rejection letter.
Yes.
That they didn't even consider my book. They just said, no, we are not taking general books. We are just taking academic books. So those were my very first books. I used to write them in exercise books. In those days, you struggled to get someone to type for you around town. There were a few places where you could get typing. So one of the stories that I wrote was later published in this book, English Today. I wrote a story which appeared in the school magazine. Then later on, it appeared in this book. So one man was teaching, Mr. Ngandu. He discovered that story. Then said, I saw a story with your name there. I said, we were not using this book where I was teaching. We're using another book. So I then found my story there, and I was very much excited. But you ask about my first book. My first book came out in 2013. It's called A Bag of Memories. 2013, yes.
Wow.
That's when, before that, I used to write stories in different magazines, like Norton News. I used to publish different stories in different magazines. There were several magazines that used to publish for free in Harare. They used to carry adverts, and then they would put a short story or a poem. So I published there.
I remember Norton News.
Yes.
With Watson Daika.
Yes. Mtata Bikwa.
Yes.
Those were my editors, and Wanda Guchu. Yes, those were my editors.
Yeah, early days. One person who had a significant influence on your life was the late Julius Chungono.
Yes.
Tell us about how did you meet him, and what was the level of influence that he had on you? Yeah,
Mr. Julius Chingono was a Nortonian, but I didn't know it. I had read his book, Flag of Rags, and I enjoyed the poems that he wrote. And so I looked for him, but I couldn't find him until I went for a workshop. I was a member of the Budding Writers Association of Zimbabwe. I joined in 1995. So at a workshop in 2004, there was a lady called Irene Staunton from Weaver Press. She was the one conducting the workshop. She said, "You're coming from the Norton chapter of the Budding Writers Association of Zimbabwe." I said, "Yes." Then she says, "There's a fine writer in Norton." I said, "What's his name?" He said, "His name is Julius Ngono." Then I said, "How can I get hold of him?" Then she gave me the contact and the house number. I went there and looked for him. So I was very excited to meet him. And we formed a very good bond. He was like my father. Actually, we used to attend a lot of literary events together. And also when we started the New Voices magazine in 2004, he was there by my side. I learned a lot from him because he came from Rhodesia, right? He had published in Rhodesia. He had also published after the country got independence. So he was my father in writing. We used to go to the book cafe. Those were the days of slam poetry. We used to go there and read poetry. And book launches, we attended a lot of them together. Even when he went to Europe, he got a grant to go to Europe. When he came back, we were always together. And I benefited a lot. He also gave me a lot of insights on how life was in Rhodesia, because when I was doing certain stories, I needed to research about how life was back in Rhodesia, and he would give me a lot of information. So we were together until even when he died. We had started a project to publish a book together. We were writing a creative writing book. Unfortunately, it didn't see the light of day because he died, and I could not pursue it on my own. But we worked together at the New Voices magazine. We were there, and until I got my first NAMA Award nomination in 2008 because of that magazine. Then in 2013, then came A Bag of Memories. This is a collection of stories of how we grew up on the farm. You know, I have written it for my children to see what kind of life we lived on the farm. Yeah. So I wrote it specifically to preserve those memories, the things that we did in the farm compound. You know, that was before the land reform, when whites were the majority on the farms, and also our tough upbringing. But it was good because in the end it made us very strong. Yes, and we were go-getters when we came to the city. It was not, we could adjust quite quickly because we were tough enough. So yeah, it's a collection of short stories.
I see. My earliest memory of you was back in 2001.
Yes.
At Foka College. You were my Form 1 English teacher.
Yes.
That's where I started knowing you. At what point did you decide to go into education? What inspired that decision?
When I completed my A-level, I wanted to pursue marketing and journalism. But then I discovered that journalism wasn't paying anymore, so I decided to go into teaching, and then I applied for a teaching vacancy at Gweru Teachers College. Then thereafter I obtained a diploma in teaching. Then that's when you came to our school, when I was now teaching English. That was my major. I majored in English. Yes.
And how was it then as a teacher?
It wasn't bad at all. I could survive and I could make ends meet. Yeah. So, but I was committed to my job, I guess. So I didn't find it boring or maybe something that I wanted to leave. No, I actually enjoyed teaching English together with history. But English was the major subject.
Yes. So
You actually bring back memories. 2001, a long time ago.
It's a long time
but I
ago.
remember you quite well.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
25 years ago.
Yes. One thing I remember, you were also good with your English. Yes, I do.
Right. Okay. So let's fast forward a bit to the establishment of Essential Books Publishing Company. What led to the birth of that publishing company?
All right. The birth of Essential Books Publishing Company, it grew out of the New Voices magazine, which I founded in 2004, and I published for 4 years until 2008, when I got the first NAMA Award nomination.
Yes.
Then thereafter, things were very tough, and then we had to close. But I continued writing. And then I was trying to find an outlet for my writing. It was difficult. And because I had a history in publishing, right from the Ellis Robbins magazine, the school magazine, the Robbins Monitor, and then my publishing experience with the New Voices magazine. Now I thought, why should I look for another publisher? Let me do it. So in 2008, I had registered a company, Aleck Kaposa Enterprises Private Limited.
Yes, yes.
Then one of the things that I registered the company for was to publish, because I got a publishing grant actually when I quit my teaching job in 2008. In 2007,
Yes.
I got a publishing grant from Culture Fund to publish the New Voices magazine. So I had to quit my job so that I would concentrate on publishing. So those were the origins. Then came 2012. That's when I completely got it established and started running. But it was running in the background because in 2009, when there was the Government of National Unity,
Yes, yes.
that's when I established a private school, Norton Education Center. So I was doing full-time teaching at the school and part-time publishing.
Yes.
So from there, I was mostly publishing my own books, but suddenly I got flooded by people wanting to get their books published. Yes, so overnight, maybe not exactly overnight, but maybe a couple of years later, we were flooded and getting a lot of NAMA Award nominations.
How did that make you feel, knowing that you have been nominated for a NAMA Award?
Yeah, the first nomination was great. Now I've had 3 nominations. And as a brand, as Essential Books, we have 14 books nominated up to date, and some of them have won awards. So it was great. It was great because I used to do the printing. I had the machines at home. I did everything. So I was actually happy that my work that I had done, got that nomination. But the New Voices magazine was a voice of many people. The different writers from Zimbabwe contributed poetry and short stories. So I also had my own articles in there, and then we got nominated. So it built confidence that we could do it.
And how many wins? As
Essentials, we've had 2 full NAMA Award nominations. Although before the first win, I edited a book by Pumulani Pandambira, Songs of the Little Creatures, but he then published it himself. But I edited that book, and he got a NAMA Award in 2020. Then after that, in 2022, this book here by Arnold Gwiriri was just 10 years old when he got the NAMA Award. So this was our first NAMA Award. And then this year, we had 5 books at the NAMA Awards. And this one here, Mukanyawashe's managed to have a total of 14 NAMA Award nominations to date over the years. So Essential Books Publishing Company is now a a player to reckon with in the literary circles.
Do you have any international awards?
International awards, no, not yet, not yet. But there's an award that I have been nominated for this year. I'm still to get more details. It's a recent nomination. They said they are recognizing my work in promoting children's literature, because when we won the first NAMA award by a 10-year-old boy, we then established a separate entity for children's books. Okay. And it's Creative Kids at Essentials. It is done exceptionally well. This year we had 2 writers nominated for, they were in the special mention category at the NAMA Awards.
Yes.
I think one of the books is here by Jean Botso from Chegutu, and then another writer from Masingo. She got nominated, so we are excited that we've had so many appearances at the NAMAs that it seems like it's just an ordinary walk to the NAMAs, but it's not. You see, this book here, The Exciting Story of Chipo the Bird, was the one that was nominated for a special mention at the NAMA Awards 2026.
Wow.
And then we had other books competing in different categories, but we clinched the outstanding children's book. Actually, this is our second, like I said, but most of our nominations are in the outstanding children's category. We also got first published creative category, NAMA nomination, and this year again we had another one in the non-fiction, Kuraskam Africa. So yes, we have made our presence felt by the reading public.
And with all those nominations, successes, you're all over the news.
Yes.
Yeah, someone who's very easy to Google.
Yes.
How has Norton treated you as far as Mr. Aleck Kaposa is concerned, the writer?
I believe that Norton has generally accepted my work, but it has been accepted at national level before I could get recognition here. For example, I told you my first nomination was for the New Voices magazine. My second nomination was this book here, The Magician, which was nominated in 2018. It was approved also as a grade 7 reader in 2024. So this book has got 2 certificates. And then in 2020, I got this one here, Kuku wins the President's Clean Environment Award. So I wrote about Norton here. Of course, this one I wrote about what happened when I was still on the farm.
Yeah. Tell us about. I read this book.
Yes.
Is it based on a true story or there's a bit of fiction?
Yeah, it's mostly based on a true story. When the magician, a man called Kalulu, he came to our school in 1985, and then he performed his magic works. So many years later, in 2013, I just thought of writing it down. You know, also when I write my stories, I go back in time to the time when I was living on the farm, when I was growing up.
Yes.
So I wrote about that man, how he came. Of course, I had to exaggerate a bit there. Yes, you find that also even The Strange Bird. There was a boy called Michine Ripi when I was in grade 6. He came to, he was in my class. He wanted to kill a huge bird. We used to call those makokoa birds. Yes, so he killed that bird, and that remained on my memory for many years until I wrote it here. So, but here I was trying to fight against cruelty to animals, like what he did, because he just
It's something that affected you.
Yes, it did. So when I wrote this book, it's based on those memories also from the farm compound. Even the big yellow train, when I was growing up, we used to watch the train pass by every day. Yes, by the railway line, trains going up to Harare or going down to Lion's Den.
Yes.
So it has built some permanent memories. And I wrote a story about the children watching the big yellow train. There's also another book born out of this. It's called A Thief on the Big Yellow Train.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So this book gave birth to another book. Back to my creative kids. I was talking about creative kids, and you were talking about Norton. So in 2022, finally, I got an award, Notas Award, as an author and publisher of the year. Previously, I had been nominated for the Artist of the Year in 2019, but I think it was won by Mbeu. Yes, I didn't win that one, but in 2022, I got the Notas Award. There it is up there.
I think you were in the correct category.
Yes, now I was in the correct category, yes. But I'm happy that one of our creative kids at Essentials product is Kaile. She has also won a Notas Award as the Young Achiever of the Year. She won this one, I think it was in 2024. She's now doing grade 7. And this book, The Ugly Girl, which we published under our Creative Kids at Essentials initiative, is now found in many bookshops in Harare, Zim Papers at Herald House. There you'll find this book on sale.
Wow.
And also in some shops in Borodale. So we are happy that she has achieved that success. She has earned money even while she's still young.
Oh, yes.
Yes. She's not the only one with books in the bookshops. Yeah, Jean Bots also has some books in the bookshops, and a lot of other kids that we have published under the Creative Kids. So I've published quite a lot, more than 30. These are different kids from different schools. We have published books with us under the Creative Kids. Actually, it's a growing program. Right now, I'm doing books for different schools. I'm doing books for Hartley 1. They've brought 3 books so far, but they've also submitted already another 59. So schools are coming on board. Here's a primary school, Dudley Hall, and other schools. Shalom here in Norton. Yes, so maybe another thing that I had forgotten to talk about was the Norton Children's Books Festival that I established.
I was about to go to that.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you can go on.
Yeah, because of my passion for literature for children, and also to mentor children, to give them a platform to express themselves through writing, through poetry, through short stories, novels, and so forth. I established the Norton Children's Books Festival in 2018, and we staged it at Katanga shops there, the open space. Yes, we applied to council, the police, and got all the permission. Yeah, it was a huge event. We had kids coming from different schools to perform poetry, to do art, coloring, and so forth. But we didn't have a sponsor, but it was so successful. It was featured in several newspapers. They wrote about that. So out of that, then a lot of kids have been coming on board. But I think if Norton could be seriously involved, like maybe the town council and the politicians, if they could come into this so that they facilitate for kids to express themselves. We've got the initiative, we have put it into motion, but we lack resources to really get it going. Otherwise, we could do it at national level. When we staged the festival in 2018, we got invitations from Kwekwe, from Mutare, from Harare. They said, come and do the same thing in our towns.
Yes.
So I we are working on that. Unfortunately, because of work constraints, I couldn't go and do it outside Norton, but very soon I believe we'll be going to other towns. So in that, I later on tried to approach the town council to have a joint venture to stage the Children's Book Festival. But I got a negative response. They were not really interested, or probably they didn't understand, but we had invited them to the first one. They saw it in the newspapers and all over, but unfortunately they couldn't support, so I couldn't go on.
So what can we do to, as parents, to encourage our children to read? Because it seems like we now have a TikTok generation, a generation that has very short attention spans.
Yes.
We can't focus. We don't have time to read, and it's become very difficult. Even I've seen many grown-ups struggling with comprehension. What can be done?
I think there are several initiatives that can be done so that we revive the reading culture. Like one of them, through those festivals, you find that there were schools that didn't, actually public schools didn't participate when we held the Norton Children's Festival because they needed permission from the authorities, the Ministry of Education and so forth. So they didn't participate. But learners from those schools came and begged us to just do their poems. So you feel that there's a great need out there.
The hunger is there.
Yes, the hunger is there. They said, give us the platform, and then we ended up smuggling in one or two to perform without the permission from their schools. But they said, no, please, let me do my poem. Let me do my coloring. So, but the private schools, yes, they participated very well. Actually, we had writers coming in from different places, like from Harare, from Mutare. We have one writer, he writes children's books as well, Kavenga, Simbarasha Kavenga. He has written wonderful Shona books and English books. He came into the festival. We had Tinashe Mchuri, one of the top writers, author of Chibarabad and other books. He was actually one of our NAMA Award he was nominated for the NAMA Award, one of the books that we published for him, Anti-Mazita. He came here to support that, and a lot of other writers. So children are hungry out there. And so one way to, actually the other thing that I didn't talk about was that by focusing on our literature, we are trying to create our own stories.
Yes.
You find that when I was young, there were not too many stories by African writers.
Yes.
There were no books by African writers that I could access. So I grew up reading Eurocentric books, books about Europe. So we want children to tell their own stories. You find that books like this book here, The Ugly Girl, is just about 10 pages, something like this, you see? One can read it and enjoy it without much struggle. So in between TikTok, you can read this. And all our creative kids, we've got like the Attention Monster and Jim, the Brave Young Boy. The children must read their own stories. In creative kids, we also give mentorship, right? Some of the kids were writing about hidden treasure somewhere in a castle. So I said, no, we don't have castles here. We've got our caves.
It's not our culture.
It's not our culture. We've got our caves. We've got our totems, our animals. Let's write stories about them.
Yes.
So we are trying to train kids to appreciate our African things, Zimbabwean things. I'm happy that the schools have adopted the heritage-based curriculum. So what we are doing here is to reclaim our heritage so that we tell our own stories. You can't feed our children with European, American, Western stories just like that. We need them to be reading.
We have so much to tell.
Sure. Our stories are all over. Our stories, so they must write stories about themselves. Our own places, our own animals, our own towns. cities, farms, and rural areas. That's what we encourage, so that we build a reading culture. In the end, kids will like, when they can actually say, this story happened in Katanga, it happened in Norway, it happened in Ngoni. They begin to appreciate it. But it's also short and easily readable. It's not like these other huge books. These are books by adults that we have done. Like, for example, this one, A Pink Sky.
Yes.
It's going to be launched on the 27th of June in Harare there. It's one of the big books that we have published. So I'm saying the kids write small stories, short stories that we turn into books. We also tell them to accompany the stories with illustrations.
Yes.
They do the illustrations themselves, and in the end, they've got these small books. There's also a huge market for these books. There's also a huge need of these books. We've got a lady on our group, Dr. Amai. She's running Dr. Amai's bookshop. She's selling these books in different places, but you can't even believe it that most bookshops, most schools are saying, give us Shona books. Even in the diaspora, we've got people that are buying our books.
I've seen there's a huge demand for
Yes,
Shona books.
there is. They are saying, give us Shona books for kids, for grade ones, for those just starting, for infants. There's a huge demand for that. So we are saying, let's come together, let's create stories for our children, so that they learn to be proud of themselves, and not just what they just see on the television. And they consume a lot of television, like you talked about TikTok. It doesn't really portray our African way of living. It's influenced by just a whole lot of things.
Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective. Also on that, I see. What's your take, rather? What's your take on parents who force their children from as young as toddlers, to speak English only?
I think that is very damaging, because in the end it will make the children to look down on their own languages. They will actually despise and hate their own languages. It doesn't end with just hating their own languages. They will end up even changing the way they look. We have seen people bleaching their skin these days, so that it's lighter, and probably, they've got hair extensions, especially the girls, so that they also look like whites. I think it's dangerous to have kids only speaking English. My own children speak Shona at home, but they are also writing books. My own background, we spoke Shona in the farm compound, but I managed to grasp English quite easily. So it's not necessarily that your child must learn English and you say you must only speak English. That's very dangerous, because in the end they will become self-hating to such an extent that they will do some unthinkable things to just say, to do away with the African look, everything, to try and erase it completely. And I don't support it at all. I think the Ministry of Education has also said that children at infant level must be taught in their home languages. I think that is a brilliant thing, because a child understands better if he or she is taught in the home language. So even that's why we are saying that no. You can teach them English, but don't make it a rule that speak English only. But at school they can do it, because they're trying to make kids develop. But also, even at school, I don't subscribe to the notion that they must speak only English, because they will be comparing now that, this language is superior. We must always speak this language and do away with our Shona language or our other indigenous languages. That's very dangerous.
You are a Christian.
I am.
A devout Christian.
I would say I'm very much religious. I go to Seventh-day Adventist Church. I'm an Adventist, looking forward to the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
But of course, I am a sinner, hoping to be saved. Yes.
What is your take on certain, I'll not mention any names, but I'm sure you've come across certain church doctrines that demonize our Africanness? Things like mitupo, which is, I believe, is something that identifies us from where we come from. Things like saying my great-great-grandfather, Amwe. Not necessarily that I'm worshipping or praying to him, no, but just acknowledging his existence.
I think that, well, what I believe is that we as Africans descended from our ancestors.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with them, with their identity, because we were created by God. And also the totem, as far as I'm concerned, totems are for identity. But of course, they were meant to probably have other purposes, like maybe the preservation of animals. You know, when you say this animal is my totem, it means you don't
harm it.
Yes, you don't harm it, you don't kill it for meat and so forth. So I think they are lost, because our past is very important. You cannot wash it away, you cannot do away with it, you can't throw it away. It's important. It actually, for me to be who I am, it's because of my ancestors.
Yes.
I don't worship them, I just value where I came from, my identity.
Because if just remove one person from that line, you not exist.
I wouldn't
today.
be there today. So I think those are lost. Even in terms of some churches make you change names. I don't think there's anything wrong with our African names. I've actually given my children names from my tribe so that they are able to identify. I didn't pick European names. I didn't pick even names from the Bible, although I believe in the Bible 100%. But I didn't pick because once I worship God, I'm not Jewish.
Yes.
So I've got my African identity, which I must preserve. So I've given them names from our language, our language of origin, you know.
Which is to preserve.
Yes, to preserve their identity and history. And they must be proud of it.
Wow, interesting. Okay, let's come back to Norton. How did you find yourself in Norton?
I came to Norton when I got my job, my first job as a teacher. That's when I came to Norton. I used to live, like I told you, when I did up to A-level, I was still on the farm, and even thereafter, I was still on the farm. But after I had obtained my teaching diploma, that's when I came to Norton. I got a job to teach here at Fokker College. I then relocated to Norton. It was because I had found a job. Otherwise, before that, I was not interested in Norton, you know. I just thought it's one of those places, but I've come to like it. It has become home. I've been here more than, I think that was 99. So up to today, it's about 27 years I've been here.
So is this where you met your wife?
Yes, I met her here. Mamoyo, I got married here in Norton.
Wow, and how has it been starting a family? How have you been finding Norton, like from the days that you relocated and now? What has changed?
I can say a lot has changed. I came here as a bachelor and then finally got married in 2005 to my wife, Clara Mamvura Mamoyo. Ever since we've been together, we've built a family. God has blessed us with 3 children. First one is a boy, is called Umali. The second one is Sakina. And the last one is Fatima. Yeah, so those are our children. The last one is actually 10 years old, and the first one is just 10, is turning 20 very soon. So that's been our family. Of course, we have faced challenges, like when I quit my job, when I resigned to start publishing. You know, you're now standing on your own. I actually transformed into an entrepreneur. You know, we live without salaries.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't expect any salary, so I must make my dollars. So you have to learn those skills and develop them so that you're able to survive. But now, well, I've managed to get it gripped, family, and I can do it. Yeah, that's what I am, and I don't want to get another job somewhere. I'm just running the school and I'm publishing books.
You are content.
Yeah, I'm content with that. I make my day. I decide my own schedule to do things and so forth.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Whilst you're still in Norton, do you have any of publishers or writers, authors that you admire from Norton?
Yes, I talked of the late Julius Shingono. Even the other guy I talked about, Pumulani Chipandambira. He's a fine writer, the one who won a NAMA award.
Yes.
That book which I edited. He's a fine writer, a very good writer. There's also another fella, Elisha July. He also won a NAMA award. He's a close friend of mine. So Norton has been winning these NAMA awards. So there was July there. In 2019, in 2020, we had Pumulani Chipandambira. He lives in Maridel, good writer. July lives, I think he's now in Maridel, or is it in Damafos? But he's a local writer, he's a good writer. There are also a lot of other children writers like Kaile. She has done 3 books now. Very good writer. I actually appreciate her work. She's not the only one. And then we've got a lot of other budding writers from different schools. Others are in high school. Yeah, sometimes we meet informally and talk about writing. So yeah, in Norton we have got a good number of writers, good writers, award-winning writers. I think the awards prove what kind of quality we have, because these are national awards. Yeah, they're not only that, but also we've got others in different groups who are also writing. Some I may not mention them by name, but we do have them around.
Wonderful.
So I'm saying, let's make Norton great.
Yes.
Let's put it on the map. Let's keep on writing. It's not about winning awards. It's more about expressing ourselves so that we preserve our memories, we archive our stories for future generations to appreciate. Also, we get money, when we sell the books. So that's what drives me.
So, if you were to give you unlimited powers, unlimited executive powers, as a writer, educator, family man, what would you change in our communities?
In our community,
what would you change?
The first thing is I want people to believe in themselves, believe in their abilities. So I would find entrepreneurs scattered all over Norton and empower them in whatever endeavors they are pursuing. Yes, so that Norton is uplifted. At the same time, I would also want to promote writing, creative writing, and reading in schools, in public places. Like we used to have a place in Harare, I think in the middle of the city, there used to be a place where you could go and read your book. So here, I would want to see a vibrant libraries at different schools. Of course, digital, but also with hard copies. With a hard copy, you actually develop an intimate relationship with the book, as opposed to the digital copy there. that you can't really touch and smell.
Yes.
But this one here, you can touch it, you can smell it, you can read it at any time. You don't need a gadget to read it. So I would empower entrepreneurs in different places of Norton. I would want to see children reading books. I would want even adults to also read books. Our youths must be empowered so that they move away from drugs. They move away from destructive behaviors and start to do things that build their country and take it forward. That's a pretty difficult question.
Oh yeah, it's very broad.
Yeah, very broad indeed.
Speaking of a library, what's your take on that recently constructed library? Well, have you been there? What's missing? What needs to be done?
I think, unfortunately, I've only been able to see it from a distance. But I'm someone practicing in terms of literary arts. I'm not too sure who are the people behind that initiative, but I've seen the place. Unfortunately, to me, it looks a bit deserted. I don't think that it has enough books or enough equipment to actually function as a library. I think those people running it need to do more and also even talk about it, because it's just there, I think, near the police
It's
post.
just a building.
Yeah, it's still building. Maybe you see 2-3 kids. I've not seen 10 kids there. But kids must take to writing at a young age. So a library is supposed to be a friendly place with that builds memories. You know, they go there, they read books, they do other things. I think the people doing that library need to do a lot to make it attractive, to bring it to the attention of the people. You know, people must know there's a library in Norton.
Yes.
But it's hardly known. Even us writers, you know, we don't know much about it. But we are local writers, so I think if they were to work with us, we could try and make it much better, because we are already doing this at national level. So
And the books are there.
Yes, the books are there. We can do it at local level.
Okay. There's that kid who's probably watching this video right now, who wants to be a writer, or who has a passion for writing, but is not sure that, okay, if I start writing, I want to be a gold dealer. What can you tell that kid?
Writing, you can pursue it whilst doing other things. Because if you have a passion for writing, you can write. There's also money in writing. Of course, it's not easy, but you can make money with books, especially given the digital platforms that we have now. You can use the content from the book, you know, and make money through several ways. So I would encourage anybody out there, especially kids, to write, to express themselves, to write their own stories. It's important. It's not about money. Writing is also a way, like I said earlier on, of preserving our memories, also archiving our own stories, so that maybe 50 years from today, 100 years from today, people can look back and say, oh, not only had these people here, they wrote these stories. You know, times change, and they would be able to read our writings. So it's not about just chasing money. It's about archiving our stories for future generations, and also not to go to Google, you know, to get our stories. We want us to tell our own stories. So we must do it ourselves, whilst chasing other things. Like what I do, I write, I publish, I also teach. I'm a full-time teacher at our school. So, but I find time to write. I find time to read. So I would encourage everybody to read, because you never know. You get lots of bits about business through reading, you know. how to improve yourself, how to be effective in different things that you're doing. You get that from books. So I would encourage people to write. Let's not just wait for others to write for us. Otherwise, that would be tragic, because if they tell our stories, they won't tell it from our own perspective. They'll tell it from their own perspective, and a lot get distorted and lost in the process. So we need stories by our own children, by our own even adult writers. Let's write.
Okay, I'll go to the next question just before we close.
Yes.
Okay, I've heard what you've said. I want to do this.
Yes.
I have my story. What do I do with it? How do I get it published?
Yeah, those with stories can get in touch with us. Maybe you can put my number and they can get in touch with me or find me here in Ngoni. I'm actually all over Norton. You know, they can come to me, they can come to us at Essential Books Publishing Company, Creative Kids at Essentials, depending on what level they are, and bring their stories. We actually charge a small publishing fee to get the book done, because we have to work on it, to edit, to get it registered for International Standard Book Number, and do the typesetting and so forth. So we charge a small fee for that. So it's important they can approach us, and we can facilitate the books to get it published professionally. We do professional publishing, you know. I've said this before, that I've done more than 300 books for some for universities, mostly for different adult writers. These books are in bookshops. So we've had a lot of successful books out there. So let anybody with a story come to us. Yes. We can give advice. We can actually tell them how to go about it, so that in the end the book comes to life. So don't die with your story in there. Come to us, we'll assist and get it published. So Essential Books Publishing Company, Creative Kids at Essentials. We actually have an association. You can join our association. It's called Essential Books Writers Association. It's a registered association, registered with the National Arts Council.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Kaposa.
You're welcome.
Any last words for our viewers, budding writers? Any last words of encouragement?
I would say a reader is a leader. So if you want to lead in whatever field you are, you need to be a reader. You can also be a writer. Don't let your stories go unpublished or untold. Find ways to tell your story. Even, you know, doing these recordings for future generations. We've got a lot of wonderful stories in Norton. We've got a lot of successful people, wonderful people. We have done great things at national level, even at international level. Those stories must be told. Norton is a great place, so we need to make it great by also having our stories out there, especially through the different platforms that are now available. Let's not die with our stories untold or unwritten.
Thank you. One last, on a lighter note.
Yes, sure.
What's the secret with the hat? I've never seen you without a hat, ever.
Now the hat has become a trademark, I guess. It has become a trademark, but it just started. But I think many years later, I discovered that my father used to wear hats. Also, there's a picture of him over there in the 70s. He had this kind of a hat, but I didn't do it consciously, like I want to be like my father.
It just happened.
It just happened, yeah. But now it's a brand. It's a trademark. People know me better when I've got the hat than without. Yes, sure. So thank you for that. There's nothing hidden about it. It's just a hat. It's identity. And several people are actually taking after it. Yeah, they're liking it, the youngsters. Even my own son, he's also taken after that. He's now interested in going around wearing a hat. It's becoming a brand. Yeah.
The airport isn't far from the tree.
yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure.
No, I'm actually very grateful to you. Maybe on a parting note, I would just read one of the poems that I did.
Yes,
Yeah.
Please.
I could have read a short story. Maybe I would have liked to read this one, Big Joe Goes to Hospital. But unfortunately, there's no time for that. But I'll just read a poem in parting. It's from this book here, The Bleeding Tree. It's an anthology of poems collected by Godfrey, collected by Gerald Shorai, one of our top writers, the one who won a NAMA award. So he sponsored this anthology of poems, and I'm one of the contributors with a few poems in there.
Wow.
Yes, so I'll read this poem called When You Leave. There it is. When you leave, do not utter a word, lest its echoes linger to remind me of you. Promise you won't haunt my dreams or make me long to be with you again. Do not even reach out for my lips for a parting kiss. It will be too sour for me when it ferments. Do not bequeath me anything. Memories of you will be too ghostly to contend with. When I am all alone, when you leave, just walk away. That's the poem, When You Leave, from the book, The Bleeding Tree. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.
Please, if you have anything that you want to say, contribute, please leave it in the comment section, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool.